I'm Fernando Espuelas. Welcome to Matter of Fact. The presidential campaign this year is personal for California Congressman Xavier Becerra. He's the chairman of the House Democratic Caucus.
Donald Trump and Republicans in Congress are talking about my parents and about me, and it's time for us to stand up and say, this is not the way you do it.
Becerra, an avid campaigner for candidate Hillary Clinton, is the highest-ranking Hispanic lawmaker in the Democratic Party. And he's trying to turn out the Latino vote, amid speculation by some that he could also be a potential running mate should Clinton seal the nomination. Is he the person the ticket needs? Congressman Xavier Becerra joins me now. Mr. Chairman, welcome to the program.
Fernando, good to be with you.
Well, thank you so much. Let me ask you right off the top, do you want to be Vice President of the United States?
You know, it's one of those things where if you're lucky to get elected to office, you hope to get big things done. I'm fortunate. I'm in the Congress. I'm going to do as much as I can with it. Sky should be the limit for anyone who has dreams. They are for me as well. But right now, I'm working to help elect Hillary Clinton as president.
Right. So I expected that answer. Yes. So let me move on to a hypothetical.
Sure.
What do you think Hillary Clinton needs in a vice president?
She wants someone who can complement all the experience she has. So someone who has the vitality to say, I know a little bit more about, it does help to have someone who knows particular states, has either been a governor, maybe has worked in the Congress, Senate, House, done some work to develop the relationships to help complement everything she's done. The vitality she brings with the experience she brings can be complemented by someone who's got some unique experiences that help add a little bit more to what she has. The difficulty in terms of selecting a vice president or talking about a vice president is you're talking about perhaps the most accomplished candidate for the presidency that we've ever had. And she's done so many things, so she brings so much to the table by herself.
Having said that, as you know very well, Bernie Sanders has done quite well, much better than expected at least. It doesn't seem the math is favoring him towards getting the nomination, but nevertheless, he's connected with a very important part of the Democratic Party. Right. Do you think Secretary Clinton can actually connect with that group of people as well?
I think she can, and if she selects also someone who's to be her vice president, who can also connect with all those new voters, those energized, those young voters, that would be a good ticket to have. And so I think it's a thrilling experience to see so many people wanting to come out and support for Democrats, whether it's Secretary Clinton or Senator Sanders. At the end of the day, you get one, and I think we could consolidate forces and really have a great result in November.
We've talked in the past about what seems to be a counterintuitive strategy among the Republicans, which is to, as Mr. Trump has done, go out of his way to insult Latinos. How do you think his candidacy in particular will impact the election in November relative to Hispanics, women, Muslims, African Americans, and other groups as well?
I don't know if it's intentional on his part to exclude, to distance himself from particular constituencies in the American electorate, or if it's just Donald being Donald. But he certainly has made it pretty clear that there are some people he wants to attract and others he wants to repel. And I don't think there's any doubt that right now Latinos are looking at Donald Trump and saying, you don't want us, you think poorly of us, and so you're not a place where we can go to feel comfortable in the White House. And so I don't know if he's doing that intentionally, and if he's doing that to women for the same reasons, if he's doing that to folks of Muslim religion for a particular reason, but he's doing it. And at the end of the day, that's politics, and we'll see where it ends up. But I doubt that the Latino community is going to look at Donald Trump and say, this is the guy we want leading the country for the next 4 years.
And Mr. Chairman, last question. To that point itself, right? Sometimes elections are won by 500 votes, right? The difference, for example, the Hispanic electorate in North Carolina is approximately 3% of the whole electorate. Elections often are decided by much less than 3%. Yeah. You're very in tune with, I'm sure, your party's attempt to take control of the House back. Do you think you're well positioned in all the districts that are now in play?
My sense is that this could be a change election, and if it is, not only will we see Hillary Clinton become our president, which I fervently hope will happen, but the Senate could likely flip. and the House is on its way. And so what Secretary Clinton, as President Clinton, will need in 2017 is a Congress that actually wants to get things done and will work with the president. That's where I think it's so important that we have a chance to win the House of Representatives on the Democratic side.
Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for joining me today.
Fernando, thank you.
Thank you.